all, by the way, I want to make sure that I make it clear. I'm not being at all critical of the CEOs who are doing this. This is not a diss track. This is not me being critical. This is me being analytical. Analytical is different from critical. Hope we can understand this. So here's the deal. When they make a pledge and they say, we're going to hire 1 million black people in the next 10 years, I need you to be clear and understand that while this certainly does have some benefit for you, it certainly has far more benefit for them, right? It has some benefit for you, but a lot more benefit for them. It doesn't mean they're screwing you. It doesn't mean that they're a bunch of old Uncle Toms. It doesn't mean that they're selling you out. It doesn't mean that they're trying to jack you for your paper. They're not. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Please don't take it. This is analytical, not critical. What it means is that what it's doing is this is an integration play. You see, we've been led to believe before. Most of us never read books like Powernomics, right? Or Black Labor, White Wealth, books by Dr. Claude Anderson that break down precisely how your wealth got to where it is right now. Right? Because black folks have been getting jobs for corporations for a very long time. And there's very little evidence to say that our wealth levels have actually gone up because of that. Right? White wealth has skyrocketed. Black wealth kind of remains flat and it's actually going down. It's going to be zero by the year 2053, largely because most of your wealth gets trapped into big white universities that suck up all your paper so that you can actually get a piece of paper that lets you go work for a white business. Do you follow what I'm saying? Somebody says slow down. I hope I'm not talking too fast. I apologize. I get a little bit excited. Give me a yes or no if you're following my logic here. I just need a confirmation to know that I'm not, because sometimes I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes maybe some people have accused me of being ahead of my time. I consider that to be a compliment. But maybe it's because it's easy for me. I've been thinking about these things for 30 years. So it's a little simpler for me than it might be for other people. Okay. So, and I apologize if I'm talking too fast. I want to be cool when I say this because I don't want it to come off like I'm being mean. I'm not trying to be mean here. So here's the deal. So these guys have these CEOs who, probably like a lot of us who went to, big universities and make lots of money. We have survivor's guilt. I don't know if any of you feel this way. You have survivor's guilt. You're like, dang, man, I'm doing good. I'm in the executive suite. I'm making all this money and my people are struggling. So I think they did this because they want to help black people. I think they did this because they want to see black people do better. So what I'm saying is that there is a better way to see how to make sure black people do better. And here's what I'm getting at. Here's what I'm getting at. A conversation on improving the black community cannot just be a conversation about jobs, right? It cannot be just a conversation about jobs. In America, you live in a capitalist society. Capitalism isn't nearly as racist as it is capitalist. Capitalism doesn't dislike you because you're black. Capitalism will screw over white people too. Capitalism believes that the powerful get all the wealth. Those who are not powerful, you can just jump off a bridge and die, right? So when you're integrating into a capitalist system where it's built on this survival of the fittest kind of mindset, and you're coming into it and you're black, you have to understand that when you don't have ownership and control and power, you're going to get screwed. And let's just be clear. This ain't just because you're black. Ken Chenault's been a black man his whole life, from what I understand. He's the CEO of American Express. Capitalism doesn't screw him. Capitalism rewards him. If you're Will Smith, capitalism doesn't screw you. Capitalism takes good care of you. So let's get past this whole idea that somehow all these things happen because you're black. No, all these things happen because of where you're positioned, where you're trained to position yourself in the economic process, in the economic system. Now, here's my philosophy. Before I move on to that, actually, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe. This week's program is very, very good. So here's the deal. Here's my philosophy, right? My philosophy is a black first philosophy, B1. B1 means that any economic strategy that we pursue as black people should be something that puts the black community's interests ahead of all other interests. The Chinese have a philosophy that you might call C1. They believe that any economic move makes sense as long as it makes sense for China. If it makes sense for Saudi Arabia, then that's not the optimal move. If it makes sense for England, that's not the optimal move. So if you go to China, let me give you an example. Think of the black community like a nation. Think of black people like China, okay? And imagine if you went to the president of China and you say, we really want to help China. We really care about the plight of China here in the United States. We know your per capita income isn't very high. And so what we've pledged to do, we have some Chinese CEOs over in the United States that are working for American companies, and they have pledged to create 1 million jobs for Chinese people in the next 10 years. So that means that your best and your brightest, you can put them on a boat, send them over to America, and we'll put them right to work. What do you say? Somebody in class, answer me real quick. How many of you think the Chinese will be happy with that deal? How many of you feel like the Chinese would say, yes, sign me up. This is the key to Chinese prosperity right here. Sending our smartest, best, and brightest, our potential CEO billionaires. We're gonna send all our future billionaires to America so they can all get a job making $100,000 a year. How many of you think that China would go for that deal? I'm putting on my other glasses because it's easier for me to. Actually, I have two pairs. I'm going back and forth, and I don't like either one. I gotta go to the eye doctor. I apologize. All right, so no. Hail to the no. The Chinese would say no. Thank you, Mr. White Man. That's a wonderful offer you made here. We appreciate that, but we understand how the whole game is played. We know where every piece on the chessboard is located. You think that we're a pawn, and we're not trying to be a pawn. We're actually trying to be a player. See, we're not a pawn on the chessboard where you're moving us around and we don't know what's going on. We're actually moving the pawns ourselves. So you're talking player to player. You're not talking player to play E, right? You're not talking player to pawn. We're talking player to player. So in China, we understand the value of our human capital. Human capital is the economic potential or the economic worth of the people that exist in your community. The people have value. You were born, you don't know this, but everybody watching this right now, you were born a millionaire. Every single person in here was born a millionaire because, and I say this as an expert on finance, everybody was born a millionaire because throughout the course of your life, if you add up the economic value of all the labor that you do for other people, all the thousands of hours you spend at your job, all the things you're going to learn throughout your life, all the skills you pick up. Some of you are accountants, some of you are lawyers, maybe you're engineers, maybe you pick up the trash, maybe you sweep the floor at the local high school. Doesn't matter. No matter who you are, where you at, no matter what your education level, you were a millionaire when you were born because God gave you this blessing called human capital. That's why they hire you. That's why they want to bring you in to their economic army and make you a soldier on their chessboard. They want you to play a part in sustaining their economic power.